end of week technical analysis. I hope you lot have had a lovely Christmas. Don't hesitate though, the Christmas holidays is definitely still going. But yeah, we're going to jump straight into things here. So as you know, this blue vertical line represents the last point in which we left off in our last technical analysis video. And as you can see, this is the information that we have marked up. A quick apologies for the bird sounds outside. I don't know what's got into them this morning, but they are going absolutely crazy. Over here in the UK, we have a bird called the seagull, which is very common, and they are an annoying bird. Anyway, ignore that. So from the point we last left off, we can see that price fell bearish and then had a slight retracement back up and then found support at the same level it did the first time, with price then rising back up to around here, touching the trend line, then just surpassing through it. And then as you can see, price is now where it is at around 2628. So what can we see from this price action? We can see that price has in fact become bearish at this level, and then finding a common support on around this area of 26010 or 2610 roughly. Price found support here, and then it has since then sort of been pushed up, as you can see. Excuse me. As you can see, the most recent candlestick closing in 15 minutes. We are on the hour 1 time frame. So 3/4 of this candlestick have already surpassed, and as you can see, it is quite bearish. If we go ahead and go down to our minute 15, we'll have a closer look as to what is happening. So yeah, again, just in a little bit more detail, you can see price fell. We had a sort of consolidation pattern where price came to test that same level around 2610 like we just spoke about. Price then came up to test our trend line, indicating to us that our point of interest of around 2627 and our trend line are both valid and identifiable points of interest within the market that we should keep an eye out for. Price then tested this area of resistance, broke back down to test near to this resistance that was created here, before price tested as that support again on the level of 610. We found support at around 2621 before price then pushed up all the way, almost touching at 2640. And since then we have sort of had some consolidation. We found another point of resistance at the same area here at 2637 again, and price then has since become bearish. Obviously we are pre-New York, London and New York session, so there's not a lot of volume in the market. However, there is a considerable amount since the market has been sort of on and off these last few days as it has been Christmas. So what could we see short term if we go for the rest of today? So as you can see, we'll start here. This resistance price has come down. What we could potentially see is price come to around this 264 level and find a support on our trend line before price then pushes back up. That's one of the scenarios that we could possibly see on our lower time frames today. We could also see price completely surpass through this level, taking us all the way down. We could in fact see this level of around 2618 touched today, so we could just see a bearish continuation. With the help of New York session, we could in turn see price break through that trend line, come back up to test it as a resistance. If I go ahead and grab a path for you, could go ahead and test it as resistance there around 2623 before price then breaks down further, perhaps coming down to that 2610 level again. So that's a bearish scenario for you. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to our higher time frames now. We're going to go to our daily and just have a look what's actually happened. I don't think there's any need for me to delete that blue vertical line just yet. But as you can see, price has been very stagnant since where we last left off. Not a lot of volume. Obviously, we have had a bullish day on the 26th, which was yesterday. And price is sort of retracing now. If we see price test at this support and then continue on up, what we could potentially see is price come down from where it is now. It's going to be quite hard to mark in. Roughly around there. Price could retrace to around there before price then pushes up into around the 2700 level. The target we have for gold at the minute is around this level of 2614 to 2613. As you can see, we have tested it as a support and a resistance on this level before multiple times. So that's a high time frame bullish scenario. As it goes for bearish, it's basically just simply the opposite. We could just see that continuation come down, taking us into those 2500 levels. The most likely level would be around 2606, which as you can see is a previous point of support here, and almost here. So that could be the bearish scenario. the overall probability for a bearish scenario is a lot less likely as of right now on the higher time frames in comparison to a bullish scenario. If I go ahead and show you on the weekly, since we saw that bullish engulfing pattern, we have seen price be stagnant, and we are successfully testing around this level of 2627 to 2625 as a support. So if we see a bullish day today and we see price sort of finish around the 2652 level, we most likely will see that high time frame bullish continuation. If we go down to our minute 5 and just sort of really get into what's going on here and what's happened since we last left off, if I zoom out for you, again, you just see in more detail what is actually going on. If I look at the current price action right now, price has just created the lower high and looks like it's creating lower lows. So yeah, the most likely thing to happen, or should I say the thing that's most likely to happen as of right now, is that bearish continuation to around the trend line mark, before price then sort of staggers, finds support, begins to consolidate before building up a momentum before London session, or if it happens throughout London session, we could see it happen in New York session. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go over a couple more time frames, hour 4. So as you can see, we are only halfway through this candlestick, and it has been bearish this so far. We have 2 hours and 10 minutes left, so we're almost halfway through. The second candlestick will open inside the London session, so in turn we could see on the hour 4, if price becomes bullish, we could in fact see price take us above this level at around here, 2630. And if price finishes sort of around here, we could see some bullish volume pushing us up to around that 2645 level. So again, when we're looking at this market, there's a lot more probabilities for a bullish move. Overall is definitely going to be bullish as of right now, but we will most likely see in the meantime some bearish retracements and a bearish continuation of what is happening on the lower time frames, e.g. minute 15. So yeah, short term, most likely going to see a continuation of that bearish momentum, perhaps taking us down to one of these 2 point of interests here, or we could in turn see price sort of start staggering at around this point of interest, around 2627, form a consolidation block, sort of what it has done here before, and then continue on upwards. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this technical analysis. Not much is actually going on in comparison to sort of here. We had some staggers and then bullish moves. At the minute we are just sort of staggering, but yeah, so short term we seeing some minor bearish retracements, or we could in fact see a bearish day, closing out the markets tonight at 10 p.m. GMT, or in turn we could see a bullish switch where we see price sort of even find support at around this level or the next level, our trend line of around 2624, before price then gains the momentum and volume and volatility that it needs to then take price up. So most likely the conclusion for today will be that we most likely will see a bearish continuation, perhaps taking us down all the way to 2620. The overall bias for the entire week next week will be bullish as of right now, especially as this candlestick hasn't actually done much. As you can see, we've 12 hours left on the day, about halfway through now, and we've had a slight bearish candlestick, but it is now testing. So if we can find a support at this level, most likely we'll see that candlestick close and sort of pinch itself, perhaps even turn into a bullish candlestick. If we see that happen within that today, if we see price come down perhaps a little bit further like we just spoke about, and then flip and continue on, we most likely will see that 2645 level surpassed. So yeah, that's going to be that for our end of week technical analysis video. I hope you lot have enjoyed. I hope you lot have had an amazing holidays. Of course, if you don't celebrate, enjoy the triple pay at work, and it might be nice to just have a break from everything, and yeah, take some time out, as things can get quite hectic, especially in the trading niche. But yeah, that's going to be me, Gold Signals. I hope you lot have had an amazing week, an amazing holiday, and I will catch you in the next one. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Peace.